The purpose of this video is to discuss the steps necessary to create exercise 5-35. Now, one of the things that I've done is I have skipped over exercise 5-26. The reason being, it is a very simple assignment. It's not something that you haven't encountered before. What I want to make absolutely certain of is that you all understand exactly how to do 5-35. So once again, I've laid out the views in a rough form where I don't necessarily have all the lines. This assignment is going to be very similar to what you had to do in 5-13. 5-13, you had to use your right side and your front side to develop your top view. It's going to be the exact same in this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to project the additional lines necessary to complete my front view. And if you remember back to 5-13, we had 2 visible lines and 2 hidden lines in that triangular shape, and we're going to have the exact same situation in here where we'll have 2 visible lines and 2 hidden lines that make up the view. We're then going to use these lines to translate everything up into the top view to make sure that we get everything correct. Now, starting with the top view, I have a flat edge right here. I'm going to work this section by section as I go through here. This flat spot, if you look, is represented by this line. Notice that there is still material outside of that flat spot. That's going to be very important as we get into the actual logistics of this particular piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to project this up and then over. Okay, now I know that this thing is symmetrical, so rather than project the other side up, I'm going to mirror this one around the midpoint. Now that I have that, I can project this up. Now the thing to remember here is that this is going to be projected like this. Let me go ahead and trim this out so you can see exactly what I'm talking about with this view. This now represents that flat spot. Now what I want you to pay close attention to is I do not have lines drawn up here in the corners. The reason is because this whole piece right here is round. And with this piece being round, there is no edge right here. This is the flat spot that is kind of bored into this round piece. So I do not have an edge there. So I need to make sure that I don't have an edge shown there. The next feature that I have is this feature right here, which is represented by my top hidden line in this view. So again, that gets projected up and over. And now I can just bring this up to here and bring this up to here. Let me mirror this before I draw that line. That way I can just draw the line in without actually having to go back later and trim it. So we'll draw this right into here. I can now trim out everything that I need to trim out to make this top groove. So we'll trim this piece, this piece, this piece, and this right here is a deletion, and I'll trim that. This is now representing this groove that is cut right here. And again, there's no solid lines coming off of this because this piece is round stock. I'm going to go ahead and mirror this one to the other side since it's the same on both sides. So now the only thing that I have left is this bottom face right here. For that bottom face, I need to work in the hidden layer because it's underneath, so it's going to be hidden. And with this, it's just a projection up from this piece, and that will get mirrored around. And then I can project up where this piece is actually going to be. Now the book has one confusing dimension on it, and I'm going to talk about that in a second as soon as I get my lines trimmed out to make up this piece. Okay, the book says that this slot is 12 deep from center line. Basically what that means is if we have our center line in this view, our center line is pretty much going to be cutting straight down through and coming straight through this way. Actually, I meant to put that on the center line layer. So there's my center layer. What 12 deep from center line is talking about is right here at this point of the center line, it is 12 deep. The way the book is worded, it makes it sound like from here it is 12 deep, but what it's actually talking about is from here being 12 deep. So if a dimension is applied to this piece right here, it should be 12. Obviously it should also be on the dimension layer, but that's where that 12 is coming from. So once again, the top view is now complete based off of my right side view and my front side view. The centering and dimensioning, again, is going to be up to you. This one is pretty straightforward as far as that is concerned.